Heyo, Ben here. And, I'm going to be looking at this. I did record a previous version of this episode. Let's just set that to. God damn it. Let's just set this to Trump and Clinton because Sanders just endorsed Clinton. So I'm kind of doing this the day Sanders endorsed Clinton. We've had all the protests and all that type of stuff. And things really, let's just put it this way, shit hit the fan recently. No other realistic way to put it. Oops. Let's just put it there because they're still technically the most recent reputable, I don't even want to say, I guess reputable or reasonable polling numbers show that these states are close. Technically, I could show Kansas, but that was specifically a Topeka, Kansas poll and not about a certain. It was an issue. It was a city-specific poll that showed votes only in one city, so that showed Clinton ahead by 2 in Kansas, but that's not really accurate to Kansas because Kansas as a whole is part of this whole uber Republican area. To put it another way, Indiana also. I decided to move California and New York and Texas into safe columns, even though Clinton has made allusions to possibly putting Texas in play, and Trump has actually outright said he's going to make these states competitive, but let's be honest, they're not going to be competitive. Now, some people have commented that they want, I think the best way to put it is some clarification about the email issue and why I think it's actually going to remain a big issue is because the vast majority of people think it was wrong for the FBI not to recommend charges, and of course for the DOJ to be consistent with that. But then again, the DOJ makes its charges based off of recommendations. I think this actually helps Trump in the long run, simply because it does play to the fact that, he's calling Hillary a crook. In addition, you have other issues. And you know what? I think I'm going to move Utah on the state. No, not yet. Again, I'm going to state I'm a libertarian, so I'm somewhat unbiased in this because, well, I say somewhat. Both candidates are not exactly great. That said, from what I am seeing, Trump is a better candidate. But yeah, and here's the thing. I know there are polls showing that Trump has a lead in Oregon, but then again, there are others that show that Clinton's fairly solid in Oregon. And there are various other ones. The whole Benghazi thing, I don't think that's going to be a huge issue. I never really said it was. I think I may have said that it might be a factor, or it might say there's proof that Clinton is not great on certain issues regarding security. But yeah, the email scandal, I don't see a real way that it benefits Clinton. There is no way. Yeah, while it's not currently under investigation, it's also not something that Clinton should bring up in her defense saying, I wasn't prosecuted. Because that's like, yeah. Yet the person who investigated you said if it was anyone else, you would be. So why should we put somebody who thinks they're above the law in the Oval Office? Yeah. So I'm going to go kind of through the states. Like I said, I firmly believe Trump is going to hold the Romney map with maybe the exception of Utah, simply because Johnson is polling at 20+% there. Now, yeah, there is an overstatement about, I don't want to say polling numbers, but with third party candidates, they tend to get less than what they're polling at. People saw this with John Anderson back in 1980. But yeah, I've actually seen quite a few recent Florida polls, and like I said, I actually check the polls right before I do these. But I've seen quite a few recent polls that show Florida either extremely toss up. I've seen a few with a decent Trump lead, and of course, I've seen Trump lead. Of course, all are within the margin of error, so it's a true toss up. But we're going to go west to east. Oregon is going to go Dem. I just don't see how it doesn't at this moment. Things could change, of course. Nevada is actually very close. It's closer than I expected it would be. Much closer than I expected it would be. I thought it was going to be closer to leaning Clinton, but it's actually a true toss-up. Same with Colorado, actually. New Mexico, let's just go ahead and put that solid blue. Well, it's just not solid blue, but it's fairly safe. It's Minnesota, same, basically the same thing. Connecticut and New Jersey, I'm going to go with the same thing. And now we get into the real thing. Oh yeah, like I said, he's holding Romney map. So now we get into the traditional swing state column, except a lot of people are going to say, nope, those are blue too. But not with Trump. There is apparently a Wisconsinite who commented and said that Wisconsin's going red. I'm not sure which part of the state he's in, or this commenter is in, but I'm not entirely positive on that. Because I was up there before the Wisconsin primaries in a part of the state that's going to go red anyway. And they were divided between Trump and Cruz. And when I say they, I'm talking about the in-laws. Yeah. Until I see changes in the polling, I think Wisconsin is going to go blue. Iowa, I'm actually going to go, like I said, I'm going to go red. I'm going to keep it red for now. Because it's within the margin of error. It's close. I think this year it's going to be a lot closer to Nebraska or South Dakota than it is to Illinois in terms of voter behaviors, especially in the Des Moines suburbs. For right now, I'm also going to say Nevada and Colorado are going to go blue. We're going to go ahead and Florida's going to be red. Like I said, that's what I'm seeing with recent polling, as well as just how extremely well Trump did in the primaries. People were saying, oh, there's no way he can win because he's going up against two Florida favorite sons. One of those two is going to win. And then, of course, Trump blew them both out of the water. Like I said, he's a surprisingly strong candidate. And if you told me that he would have been the Republican nominee 6-7 months ago, I would have told you, you're crazy. It's going to be Rubio. Or it's going to be... I'm trying to think of who else thought would have had a chance, but I think Rubio was the person I thought would have been the favorite at that time. He just kind of had a little bit of everything. He was youthful, he's charismatic, stuff like that. He's good on the issues. He's more moderate on some of the issues Dems have been winning hard on. And he could definitely swing some voters. Then, of course, he was from a very important swing state. And he's, of course, Hispanic. Because apparently we're playing identity politics now. I think Ohio and Pennsylvania, like I said, I'm certain those are going to go red this year. And, of course, that just puts Trump over the edge. And that's because I think Trump is going to be getting a lot of those factory workers, those people who still haven't gone red yet. Because his message is specifically about keeping those jobs that remain and trying to bring them back. And he actually has a plan to do that. Unlike Clinton, this is very much an anti-Trans-Pacific Partnership region of the nation in this area. Okay, they do not like it, and Hillary hasn't exactly completely disavowed it, and even then, they know she's for it. I think this is going to be the huge surprise. Michigan's going to go blue, I think, just because of Detroit, and even then, it's going to be close. It's going to be within a couple percentage points. Like I said, I'm almost certain that New Hampshire and Maine are going to go red. At the very least, we're going to see this one electoral vote. And that's partially because Trump is actually campaigning in Maine. He's actually going after Maine. And of course, New Hampshire, if he wins Maine, he's going to win New Hampshire. Even if he wins this vote in Maine, he's won New Hampshire. And that's just partially because of the area. There's a reason why New Hampshire was chosen as a Free State Project area, is because there's kind of that libertarian conservative thing, and they despise I just wanted to see if I could see the DC here, but there's a reason. Wow, I am not speaking that very well. Virginia's the interesting one. I could see it going red. I really could. But I don't think it will. But again, Maine, I think it's going there because Trump's campaigning there, and he's bringing a message that's very popular in the upstate region. And I don't want to say upstate because that's more of a New York thing, but it's popular in the area, in the 2nd Congressional District. New Hampshire is similar. It went for Bush in 2000. And I think Trump's going to bring back that same sentiment. And not only that, but Trump is moderate on the issues in many regards. He's extreme on some, in both directions, believe it or not, but he's also extremely moderate on a lot of others. But yeah, I think this is what the map's going to look like. It's at least going to be similar to this. Pennsylvania may be the one I'm wrong on. But even then, hey, guess what? You just won the election, Trump. Hey, guess what? You just won the election. I could be wrong on these states. I think there are 38 votes I'm wrong on. Or not, I think I'm wrong on. I could be wrong on. But again, this is where I think the election's going to be, as of right now. And like I said, it's important to know that campaigning in a certain state does boost your numbers. Let's go to... Was that really 2000? Okay, well, basically in 2000, had Bush not won, yeah, Virginia's extras. But yeah, this is kind of personally where I'm seeing the election going. I think Trump has a very strong message for this region. The Ohio, Pennsylvania, Michigan, upstate New York, upstate and western New York area, as well as New Hampshire, Maine. Like I said, I'm not positive about Wisconsin. I doubt it. Same thing with Michigan at the moment. I think I was a bit, like I said, I think I would call it a bit early. But I wouldn't be too surprised if both of those states went red on election night. I just don't think it'll happen at this moment. Anyway, guys, I will see you next time.